Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than Batman hates guns. I'm your host, Arris. As many of you know, the main villain for this season of The Flash is the Thinker. And all season long, people have been asking to do his origin. Well, today's that day. Better late than never, right? Now, there have been several different people called the Thinker in the DC universe, but since the Flash show is focusing on the Clifford DeVoe Thinker, and he's the most popular version, that's the character I'm going to be talking about. Clifford DeVoe first appeared in All Flash issue 12 in September of 1943, and was created by Gardner Fox and Everett E. Hibbard. We meet the character as a failed attorney who didn't end his career on a happy note, because he didn't find it to be enough of a challenge. He realized that many of the criminals he had encountered and put away had the skills but not the brains to rule the criminal underworld. So he was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the brains, and started a new career as a mastermind behind several small-time villains, becoming the Thinker. As the Thinker, he was defeated by the original Jay Garrick Flash. Over time, he eventually got his thinking cap. Yes, it's really called his thinking cap, and he quite literally puts it on when he's thinking. Anyway, it's easily his most used and important item of all his scientific devices, as it gives him the abilities of telekinesis and mind control, which, needless to say, makes him an extremely dangerous villain. Now, even though the Thinker isn't nearly as popular as other Flash villains like Reverse Flash, Captain Cold, Gorilla Grodd, and so on, he was one of the three main villains in one of the most popular iconic Flash stories of all time, Flash of Two Worlds, which is where Barry Allen and Jay Garrick met for the first time. It's also the story that introduced the idea of the DC multiverse. The Thinker is also an original member of the Injustice Society, and we actually see him along with fellow members Shade and the Fiddler in the Flash of Two Worlds story. They are revealed to be behind the decades-long abduction of Keystone City and the original Flash, Jay Garrick. Barry Allen and Jay Garrick then team up to defeat the Thinker and his buddies. In more recent years, the Thinker agreed to take on a mission with the Suicide Squad in exchange for a full pardon. He appeared to have been killed at the hands of Weasel during this mission, but he actually survived and made his way to Keystone City. After this, he moved away from his life of crime and became friends with his former nemesis, Jay Garrick. But things weren't all gumdrops and rainbows, because he developed terminal cancer due to prolonged use of his thinking cap over the years. Garrick tried to save him, but the Thinker was like, no, I prefer to rest in peace. His last words to Garrick were, learn to lose every once in a while. A little humility prepares you for what lies ahead. Then in the New 52, the Thinker was reimagined a bit and was shown as a murderer from the time he was a kid. His thinking cap was also changed to nodes that were implanted into his skull. It's also revealed that his incredible brain comes with a huge price, as it prematurely ages his entire body. So even though he was in his 20s, his body looked like it was in his 70s. With all of his smarts, he predicted the invasion of the crime syndicate. When they arrived, he agreed to serve them if they would find him a new body. More specifically, the body of Omac, which would make him incredibly powerful. But when he gets his new body, he's eventually pushed out of it by Kevin Coe, the original Omac. But there you have it, guys, the origin and a quick rundown of the Thinker. He's actually a pretty interesting villain, so I'm happy to see him get some spotlight in the CW Flash show. I'm especially happy this season didn't give us another villain speedster, although I will say, I'd love to see Godspeed make an appearance at some point. And that's going to do it for today's episode, but be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. All the links for that is in the description below. Also, head over to variantcomics.com to chat with the rest of the Variant Nation. But I'll see you lovely people next time when I talk about all things comics.